a loving family, a mom and dad that were always there. And they always traveled with us. Wherever we went on a sports tour or a rugby game.
School with either $5 if I wanted to wear CVs. Yeah, he's that guy. He's one of those people. But we're going to be speaking to Hawie Engels, who is our Royal Hustler for this morning. Well known former principal at Windhoek High School, Hawie Engels. Hawie retired as principal last year, having served in that position since 2011. He has an honours degree in management and business administration, a diploma in advanced education and higher education. He also boasts a B degree in geography, physics, education and psychology or physiology, as well as honours degree in geography. He's amongst others a motivational speaker involved in team building interventions, the development and facilitation of tailor-made training courses, leadership and youth development, adult education, and a life coach. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, what an impressive resume, Hawie. Top of the morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you to be here.
So, as our Royal Hustler, tell us a bit about your childhood, the childhood that shaped the man that you are today. How was it like growing up?
Yeah, I remember I grew up on a farm east of Kobabis. I was in Meyer Primary School. Now, I remember all the learners in the school were also in the hostel. And only about 60 to 70 learners from grade 1 to up to grade 7. So I remember a loving family, a mom and dad that were always there. And they always traveled with us. Wherever we went on a sports tour or a rugby game or whatever it was, my mom and dad were always there. I grew up in a family that they believed in me, that they created a lot of confidence. I built a self-esteem, and I also grew up in a very Christian home with solid belief system and values. So yeah, if I think back of my childhood, it was a happy place to be.
No, that's absolutely beautiful. I mean, that's how a child's life should be. When you're on the farm and just running amok, as it were. Like if I was to speak to your parents, were you a hair raiser? Were you a troublesome child, or were you a straight and narrow? If I was to speak to them, they'd be like, I know speaking no problem.
Straight and narrow.
Yeah, straight and narrow.
I was very much involved with the academics and in the sport.
Right.
So there was no time to do something silly.
Yeah. So you all right, okay. Growing up again on the farm, what is your biggest dreams when you're growing up? What problem in the world did you want to solve?
Yeah. That was when I thought about the dreams that I had. I couldn't think really about big dreams.
Right.
For me, I grew up that each and every phase was quite important. So primary school, you do your best. Whatever is offered to you, you do it, and you do it as well as you can. High school, because I believe I grew up in the system of if you do well in a certain phase, the door will open for the next phase. So, but I remember before independence, the old said West Africa rugby, because I loved rugby, playing rugby.
Right.
I dreamed about one day to play in that jersey, in the rugby jersey of the old said West.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was one dream that I will never forget, and yeah, I finally made it.
I made it.
Just made it.
All right. Okay. When you wake up in the morning and your feet hit the ground, what sets your heart on fire? What motivates you on a daily basis?
I think the one thing, well, now I'm talking about being a teacher, principal for the last 12 years. It was to see people to grow. Learners that come into, for example, secondary school, grade 8.
Yeah.
And I always said that it is a process of transforming learners. Now, what energized me was the fact that you see learners coming in, and then suddenly something starts to happen, and that process of see people growing was for me very energizing.
Yeah.
And then I read a lot, listen to people's life stories.
Right.
So I'm energized by people.
So just to take it back a bit, when you see learners that went through, your hands, as it were, as principal and as a teacher at Windhoek High School, and you see them doing really well, how does that make you feel? How do you feel like, wow, okay, I had a hand in that, and I contributed to the development of that child, that person, that woman, that man is who they are today because of the processes and just my guiding hand for them to be who they are today.
Yeah, for me, that is the calling that we are talking about, calling. And then for me, there's purpose. If you think back about maybe the last couple of years, and you see this, what I've just mentioned about people grow, and even after school, I walked into a business last week, and a boy that was in matric in 2017 came up to me and said, "Morning, sir, how are you?"
Yeah.
And he told me his story.
Right.
For me, that is the purpose of life. If we can have an influence on other people,
right, and
be part of a process of growing.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely beautiful. I just said I thought that I was in my principal's office. For not the right reasons. I would really love to meet him today to say, "Hello, sir." And he'll probably just look at me and shake. He said, "Did you have any troublesome children?" Children will be like, "Yo, you guys, now you really took my hair gray."
Yeah, many of them. But what is so great is that so often they walk into my office and said, "Sir, just look outside. That Mercedes is mine."
Wow.
For me, that was great. They were not the typical learner at school.
Right.
But for me also, it is sometimes, well, to be honest, unfair to put all learners in that box of being an academic.
Yeah.
I think there are so many learners with other skills, so that they can be successful in any area after school. For me, it is while they are in school to stick to the principles to build a value system,
right,
and that will help them to build a character to be somebody to be successful after school.
I mean, in the process of life that you've been on and that you continue to be on, what are some of the notable influences that you'd like to share with us? Just moments or even individuals that you'd be like, wow, okay, this person or this experience really shaped the man that I am today.
I think definitely my parents.
Right.
Yeah, to grow up with two beautiful sisters. I think, as we said, the close family, that environment already creates that, the environment to grow and to be yourself. So my parents, and I still remember, he passed away a year ago, Umboni Botha, he identified, he was my athletic coach.
Right.
So I think the time that we spent together for the 5, 6, 7 years at school definitely made a difference in my life. Some teachers, I still remember Mr. van der Linde, if I can call a name, is that he was my first team rugby coach at school at a certain point. And one day he called me in and asked my opinion about a guy. Should he be part of the team or not? For me, it shaped me in the sense of I felt part of a system. Right. So for me, that was great moments that I still remember, people that helped me to shape who I am today.
Oh man. Hawie, we are running out of time, but I just wanted to get this from you before I let you go. We have listeners and they're listening to you right now. They're listening to your story and they're touched and they feel quite motivated. What life or career advice would you like to share with our listeners before we let you go?
Yeah, I think all start with yourself, to have peace with yourself, for who you are. You see, every time when we make choices, there are consequences.
Right.
And I think at the end of the day, we must make sure that the choices that we are making is that the consequences of that, I must carry the consequences. So every time when something happened, you must think back of, did you do the right choice or made the right choice? So for me, it's a learning curve the whole time. So if I think about my career, I always think about every time you work hard in a certain phase, because that is the foundation for the next step.
Right.
And then you will be ready for the next step. And I believe that door will open. What you're dreaming about, work hard towards it, and then it will come.
Work hard at it and it will come. Words of our Royal Hustler this morning, Mr. Hawie Engels. Sir, thank you so much for joining us this morning and feel quite inspired, even energized. I really can tell that you are an educator and your passion for people is just beaming and is just showing. Thank you so much for this morning.
Thank you.
That was our Royal Hustler, Hawie Engels, who is the former principal at Windhoek High School, just talking to us about his life, what shaped and molded and influenced, but most importantly, if you work hard, it will come to you. Royal Hustler on 99 FM.
Royal Hustlers was proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation.
Good today, better